As always, they are some of our best friends in Western New York. They've been serving amazing pizza, amazing cup and char pepperoni for 4 generations, giving back to our wonderful community. Give back to them, show them how grateful you are, and make them a part of your game day traditions. Living on Long Island, it kills me that I can't have them every Sunday, but I have them in spirit, they're in my heart, and I know soon they will be back in my game day tradition. So make up for what I can't do right now with me being displaced and all. Yes, they do deliver nationwide. I don't have an excuse. I dropped the ball this week. I'm sorry. But I know 2 guys who aren't going to drop the ball on this pregame show are joining me right now. Ty B, Kevin Masseri, and like I said, I know how to say his last name now. Guys, how you doing today?
Good. Ready to watch some football. I'm not so excited about watching the Bills game, but all the other games should hopefully be more entertaining.
Ready to rock and roll in this one. It's so interesting from a matchup perspective.
Interesting from a matchup perspective because now the Jets aren't probably going to have Sam Ficken, which is not really a storyline, but it's still a kicker, and that was part of the reason we won the first game last year to begin with, if we're being honest. Possibly no Jamison Crowder. But the Bills obviously have a lot of injuries of their own. We'll see the official inactive list, but right now we know John Brown, Tyrell Dodson, Cody Ford, and Dawson Knox are all out. Dawson Knox, Josh Norman as well, and then also the entire tight end room except for Tyler Croft, who missed getting COVID by being there for his child's birth. So the football gods work in mysterious ways, I guess.
Something like that.
Yeah. We saw John Brown's absence be really, really impactful in the Titans game. So maybe start out there. I know it's the Jets. They're a terrible football team. Should we be worried about his absence for the passing game this week?
I mean, you have to still be worried about it a little bit in the fact that you need guys who are going to be able to consistently get open. If Diggs is going to be getting double teamed over and over again, and they're going to, try to take Beasley away with some chips at the line and maybe keeping an extra linebacker in the flat somewhere, using him as sort of a spy to counteract, two of those things Josh is running and that, then yeah, but I don't know if the Jets are not necessarily going to be able to scheme up enough with the talent that they have there to cause enough issues for this Bills offense. I think they should still be okay even without him. But again, without Dawson Knox as well, you're going to have to lean on Tyler Croft in the passing game. You also have Reggie Gilliam, who you can bring in a little bit. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much they're going to do that throughout the day, but we'll see. We'll have to monitor that throughout there. But I think if Gabe Davis can, get open a little bit here, if some of these other names can do just a little bit, that should be more than enough against that Jets secondary.
Yeah, I mean, I think not in the passing game because there's been plenty of jokes about what Dawson Knox has or hasn't been able to catch.
It's not even funny.
Yeah, it's not funny.
No.
But even if it was, what he does excel at more than that, he's the best run blocker on the team right now, believe it or not. That goes for their offensive lineman. So I think you missed that. Am I going to miss pass catching? No, he wasn't. I mean, the Bills would rather use Cole Beasley over the middle. They're using Gabe Davis. I can't say at this stage in his career they're going to miss his pass catching ability right now. Leading them to go out and maybe acquire a tight end in the next week. I could possibly see that, especially with, who knows when some of these guys will be back. If Dawson Knox is showing symptoms, you don't really know. The other tight ends were just there because they were in close contact, but Dawson actually tested positive. So if he's showing symptoms at all, and by that kind of transmission possibility, it would seem to me that he is at least showing mild symptoms. So we'll see if he's even able to be back. That might sway the Bills from going out and making a move at the tight end spot. But I'm not missing him in the receiving game at all. He's been too inconsistent, but I will be honest. I like to have him in 2 tight end sets, but they do run a little bit at times. And Tyler Croft, I think we were lucky to be spared him. He's also been pretty good in the blocking game in his limited action. Both of them have been pretty good blocking, average to below average receivers right now. So that's good. And then honestly, Reggie Gilliam didn't get the contact role because he's probably working in the running back room, which goes to show me that he's been looked at as a fullback. So fullback with tight end, H-back versatility. The Bills aren't going to call it that because that position's kind of outdated.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where Reggie Gilliam's going to be used now. Maybe a little bit more tight end today because of the news. But he's purely a move back. He's a move fullback. He's a move tight end. Can play in the goal line. Can do a couple of different things. But Ryan Bates is going to be in there blocking sets instead of Lee Smith. you literally lose 2 to 3 snaps from Lee Smith. It is what it is. But
the game where he caught the touchdown, he only had 1 snap the entire game.
Yeah. One snap, one catch, 1 touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And averages 2 snaps a game.
But
when he's active.
Never knock his efficiency. From an efficiency standpoint, might be the
with
best tight end on the team.
I don't have a problem with a blocking tight end that plays limitedly, and just would we talk about differently if he had 50 snaps a game? Maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't have a problem with him at under 5 snaps. He does what he does. It's probably does it pretty well in his 5 snaps, and we move on to a new player. But I think what we need to talk about is on the Jets end of their injury front. They're going to be missing 2 of their 5 starting linemen. I guess in theory, so are the Bills.
Isn't Mekhi Becton one of them, right?
No, Mekhi Becton's going to play.
Oh, he is?
But they're going to be missing George Fant, right tackle they signed, and Alex Lewis.
Gotcha.
So two guys that are bigger to their offensive line, probably 2 of their best 4 offensive linemen. So that's going to be a big loss for them. And Ficken, you mentioned Ficken earlier. He's actually only missed 1 kick this year. I think he's like 15 for 16 between extra points and field goals. He hasn't missed under 50. I remember when he had Tyson on week 1. He was saying, it's a big miss to not address kicker, but he's been sound really good for that team that struggled to score. You can't just bring up a guy, a career CFL, Canadian Football League kicker in his 30s to come in and do something. So this is going to be his first NFL kicks today. So I think that matters. It's a little windy in New Jersey. So I think that it's a thing. I'm not going to say it's a big thing. It's a thing though.
Yeah.
So we'll see if we can go out there in a limited Jets offense to help them out. But Jamison Crowder's a guy we have to bring up, guys. 29 catches against the Bills in 3 games.
Yeah.
300 yards and 2 touchdowns. By far the most of against any opponent. I'll see what he'd even rank the most yards against the Bills team in the last couple of years. He might be up there. He might be number 1. I can't get a full list. So he's a big matchup nightmare for Leslie Frazier. Struggles against him. I don't know if it's because he's a possession guy. They're going to give him those 10 yards. They're going to give him those 8 yards. They're going to, lose him and contain a couple of times. So it's big news. He's out. He's beside Bell, who obviously got cut, their best offensive player. So it is huge news. Huge news he's out, guys. You're going to get a heavy dose of Rashad Perriman, a heavy dose of 5 practices in Denzel Mims.
The Michael
P. Braxton Berrios.
Wow.
I mean, they don't play him. You heard Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
They don't play him. They're going to play Frank Gore. So all together, those are your 5 weapons. So a lot better without Bell and Crowder.
It's a good week. If there's ever a good week to possibly be without Milano and Trey White, this would be the week. Like, I don't think that we need to rush them back. Like, if especially Jamison Crowder, that the Milano injury would probably hurt that more because that's like the middle of the field where he really operates. Right. I'm excited that he's out. I don't wish injury on anyone ever except for Tom Brady. But this is the week where you can kind of take it and like sigh and just be like, okay, I'm
we find out in 10 minutes.
Yeah, we will find out in 10 minutes. You're right.
So we'll see what happens. But I think the one thing on your front, though, based on their inactive, based on their injuries, based on the call-ups, they actually put Dodson on IR, didn't bring up a player.
Yeah.
Which is a good sign for meaning that only one of the questionable players, and the questionable players right now are Cam Lewis, Trey White, and Matt Milano. Only one of them is looking like they're going to sit out, though. So if Cam Lewis goes, that means Trey's probably out. Matt might play, though. So I think one of Matt Milano and Trey White will play in this game, unless it's Cam Lewis. Maybe both of them play if it's Cam Lewis that can't go.
Could be.
So
yeah, true.
I think based on the inactive now, they're not, and that would mean that they have to activate Jake Fromm for no reason. Why wouldn't you call up another player from the practice squad to at least be active, like a Lafayette Pitts, or a Gooden that they just signed at linebacker, or even someone else across the board? They didn't do that. That leads me to believe they're going to use that spot on Feliciano on Tuesday. They're not going to play any roster gymnastics. They're not going to have Fromm active for no reason. So that means that 2 of those 3 questionable players will be suiting up.
Exactly.
And probably one of Milano and White. I would imagine Lewis goes. So one of Milano and White. So at least you have one of those in the game.
Yeah, and Cam Lewis has looked good in the first 2 games that he's really played a lot. I mean, he's really only played a lot of the Tennessee game. He wasn't super active in Kansas City, yeah. But yeah, he's got to stay healthy. But he was all over the field, like I said last week on, I think, this show. He looked like the UB cornerback that we were used to watching and everybody knew and loved here.
Yes.
Yeah. Ty,
he was phenomenal here. I told my buddies when we were watching him, when we went down to go see the Temple game, he's warming up on the bikes in front of us wearing the 41 jersey. And I said, that kid right there is going to be playing on Sundays, maybe before anyone else here on this team. And lo and behold, he was the one that made it first out of all of them. So it's kind of crazy to see, but
I
the way talent
remember
works.
my horns up, horns down columns I did for UB during his final year. It was always him and Jarrett Patterson and the horns up every single week. There were few guarantees in life, and those were two of them.
You can
Freshman year,
tiny
Patterson
things.
too.
Yeah.
I mean,
sorry, go ahead.
As big UB stands here, we cover UB. We've talked to some of these guys. We've had the opportunity, and Cam Lewis was always such an underrated player. Everyone, Tyree Jackson, he's on the Bills as well. That was kind of the talking point. Long and behold, he was plenty off the roster, and Cam Lewis stuck, and the Damone, Harris's of the world, and he just did a lot for that UB defense. That was a good UB defense that year, pretty underrated. And he's played super well, beat out Taron Johnson, a guy that the team really likes. He's got to stay healthy. That's all. He had some preseason knockups. He got some knockups last year. He's got to stay healthy in this. This is his shot, and I want it more than anyone for him. So he's got to stay healthy. He's playing with that club. I like that they said week to week, and now he might go. At most, he's out a week.
Yeah.
So that's pretty big news. But he's got to get in there. He's got a good matchup against Braxton Berrios.
Yeah.
Against a rookie Mims who's barely practiced. He's not going against DeAndre Hopkins. So he's got winnable matchups here, and the team needs him. I mean, it's Saran Neal. It's nobody. I mean, Taron Johnson's gonna have to play with Cam Lewis.
Yeah.
And it's Dane Jackson, a guy that also Cam Lewis beat out too. So he's got to be a guy in that. I mean, he can't be the fourth guy there. He's got to be the number 2 corner in that situation. So he's got to come up big, and if he doesn't go, that means Trey Witt goes. So either way, the Bills need some play out of Cam Lewis, and hopefully they're potentially both active in this game. It's not out of the question. Like Matt Milano would then sit, so it's not out of the question that both Lewis and White would be available, which would boost that cornerback room a lot.
And it looks the way that they're handling Trey's back injury that it might just be something more like back spasms. It doesn't seem to be necessarily like a debilitating issue. Like there's nothing like he doesn't have like a herniated disc or something like that. He'd be getting treatments all the time. He's been at practice. He's been limited at most points, which leads you to believe like it's just kind of acting up on him, and they're trying to keep the flare-ups down. They're trying to get the inflammation down. They're trying to do that so that on Sundays he's feeling his best, not necessarily feeling his best on, Wednesday or Thursday, and then getting the back spasms back again for the weekend. You want to cut that down. I, for one, am a sufferer of like consistent back spasms all the time. So I know how that feels. It's very tough, messes up your rest, messes up everything, throws off a lot of stuff for you. So hopefully, it's something, more like that. But those types of things are manageable, especially when you have a great training staff and the facilities that they have there at One Bills Drive.
Yeah, definitely. And luckily, if this is a game where maybe they want to let him sit, it's a game where Cam Lewis can prove his worth,
and no Jamison Crowder to worry about.
Crowder.
So where are you really worried about them hurting you from an offensive standpoint? Are you worried about Herndon?
Yeah, no, Herndon might pose his highest catch total of 4 on the year. I'm not.
You're just hoping Mims doesn't come back in 5 practices like Gay said is a guy. I mean that's literally their dart throw. If he's good, he's good. He could be in trouble there. But if he's statistics would say he's not. Probability would say he's not. But if he comes in and is good, I mean, that's the matchup. They're going to get in trouble trying to cover him with Saran Neal. That could be an issue in this game. But other than that, I don't see the matchup. If they're not even going to play P. Ryan, I'm still going to sell out and stop the run. I'm still going to sell out, bring a lot of pressure to Darnold. I'm still going to stop the run, kind of act like it's Derrick Henry. Just because, if they can't run the ball, you're going to expect Sam Darnold to throw to Braxton Berrios. I'm not feeling that too bad about that matchup, even against the Taron Johnson's struggling Taron Johnson of this game, who would probably be matched up with Berrios. So that's just sell out. Stop the box, put him in. Even if P. Ryan comes in, treat him like he's Derrick Henry. Treat the run game, Frank Gore, like it's a good mixture. Just come after it, guys. I mean, they got to play defense. They got to stop going to the offensive strength sometimes, especially when they don't have that secondary ability like they've shown. They didn't have the ability to stop Tannehill as a second option, and they didn't have the ability to stop Clyde Edwards-Helaire as a second option either. So they need to sell out, and they need to play what they know how to do. And do their thing one, because the Jets don't have anybody that you should even be game planning a game plan for.
Yeah, no, they really don't. It's nice to not have to key in on one player and not hold someone like Tyreek Hill to 3 catches. It's going to be a breath of fresh air for the defense, but they still have to stop them. We don't want it to be a game where the defense is giving up yards and the offense is going to have to score on every possession, and Boho is going to have to worry about flipping the field. But we got inactives coming in a couple minutes. We'll start going around the league like we usually do, and then we'll look at the inactives when we're making our predictions and everything. We'll talk about how that's going to affect the game. Start out with Lions-Falcons. This is part of my 5-bet parlay. Over-under for the game is 55. I took the over, and I think that the Falcons are going to win again without Dan Quinn. I think that both defenses are terrible. It's going to come down to who has the ball last. And I just think the Falcons are a little better on offense. So I would take the Falcons here.
Going Falcons.
I'm going Lions.
Yeah?
The Falcons, I can't quit them. Then they bounce back and they finally win. When I quit them, and I hate the Falcons. I just hate them. Can't.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I don't have too much dog in this fight. I think the over, and I think the Falcons lock it in, but not overconfident in this one.
Next, Browns-Bengals. Browns are favored by 3.5. They're my survivor pick, and I have them covering the spread in my parlay. I think Bengals are without Joe Mixon. The only reason they were close in the game last time is because of some Joe Burrow.
Is that spread so low, though?
Oh, yeah. I don't know why it's so low.
I think it's free money.
It's free money.
I think the public, after watching the Browns get spanked,
that could be it.
They're going to be back on to seeing what Joe Burrow has been able to do a little bit. Like, oh, he's keeping them in games. He's going to be able to beat the Browns. It's not going to happen. That offensive line is terrible. They can't keep him upright. He almost got murdered last week.
Yeah.
Almost literally murdered.
It was almost a felony charge.
Assault.
He got destroyed.
Oh, yeah. I don't like the Browns. I think they're overrated. They're playing a bad NFC division that's inflating their conference's record.
Yep,
we'll see how that plays out later in the season for sure. It's going to get 3 playoff teams in there because of that. But I don't like the Browns very much, but I got to pick them in this one. I don't love picking them in general, but I'll have to pick them in this one.
And Steelers-Titans, this is probably the most important game of the week, just around the entire NFL. The 2 undefeated teams in the AFC, and one that the Bills still have to face on the year. I think the Steelers edge out the Titans. I think that defense is still really, really talented. They're very good at stopping the run. Where they aren't so good is through the air. So, maybe it's Ryan Tannehill working his magic. He does have MVP numbers over his last 14 starts, so we'll see. But I would take the Steelers in this one.
Steelers.
I hate the Titans. I got the Steelers. I'm just not picking them. I think they're better. Their fans are egregious in Tennessee.
Yep.
They're just trash heap. I just have no interest in ever picking that team ever. So I'm going Pittsburgh.
Tell me how you really feel.
People. Yeah. I'm going Pittsburgh. I think they're better in general. I think they're a well-rounded team. I think Tennessee's going to fizzle soon. I think they're playing better early when they shouldn't be. They're getting kind of lucky. So I'm going all day Pittsburgh. Ty, we have a question though. Is that a real mustache from Chuck?
It's not coming off, guys. Yeah. This one's real too. What's up?
What's up?
Yeah. Let's ride. Mustache, baby.
Officially real mustache for the question askers of the world. So, and active's any second now, so we'll have to take a quick peek at how this turns out.
Before we get to the inactive, since you bring up the mustache, we'll jump into the 4 o'clock games real quick. We'll go back later. Jaguars, Chargers. I think I'm gonna go Chargers here. I think the Chargers have a slightly better defense, and I think that's about it. Both these teams are bad. They're both going to be picking in the top 10, but I think Herbert gets the job done for a win here.
Yeah, I'm leaning Chargers. I'd go Chargers. If I got to pick, I'm not going to make any bets on that game, but I think I would lean Chargers. I like what I've seen from Herbert. He's got some good weapons there, so
I'm going Chargers too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that's pretty straight. I tried to pick Jacksonville, get behind them a little bit, and that team sucks.
Yeah.
They can't get it done. Minshew's talking about getting benched from Mike Glennon. The season's over for them. They're done. They're right there in the discussion for a cube.
Mm-hmm.
It's done. I don't like them in this game. I think the Chargers are a little sneaky as a bad record team. So that's kind of where I'm at. But inactives are out.
Yep, was just gonna say, let's do it.
Trey White's gonna go.
Yep, and Milano.
And Cam Lewis.
Yeah.
So all three are gonna go.
Yep.
In this game, and actually inactive. That means that someone healthy had to be scratched.
Harrison
which
Phillips.
Is
Harrison Phillips.
a crazy shocker. So they
That's
thought that
weird.
Lewis was healthy enough to play over Harrison Phillips. It's telling that Justin Zimmer is going to get the snaps there over him.
What did I say? Zimmer's
What did
got a
you say?
flash. Someone's got a flash at D tackle. It was Zimmer. I called it.
Yeah.
Zimmer's cooking.
I mean, I loved it after his first performance earlier in the season, bringing him back to get him out there again. And you saw what he did against a great Kansas City Chiefs team. He was probably one of the few takeaways on defense where you could have been very happy going away from that game. Everything else sort of left you with a lot of question marks in your head. But seeing a guy like that play decently against the run, decently in that pass rush, I think Zimmer is a name that, we were talking about it, can we find another Jordan Phillips or something like that? It might just be Justin Zimmer.
Yeah. No, I mean, he had flash plays. He had more flash plays than anyone else in the D-line. He did have some bad plays, though. We got to be fair. We got to call it what it is. Got blown off the ball and run a lot. Didn't make the flash plays. Almost made the play to put the Bills in it, though. That's 50-50. Clyde Edwards-Helaire doesn't know if his knee's down or not. So it's 50-50. It's not like that's not like it's a good play by Edwards-Helaire to get his knee down. That's just solely bang bang. 50% of the time, that's a fumble. So he made that play. Justin Zimmer made that play, made a good tackle, got the ball out. He played well, deserved to be active. We'll see how good he actually is. Harrison Phillips is struggling. Coming off that knee injury, he's just straight struggle. And I'm glad to see him take his turn on the bench, where Taron Johnson should be if the room was healthy.
That's true.
But he's taken his turn on the bench, and it is what it is. But now with Cam Lewis being able to be cornerback 3, probably in the slot, and then you got obviously Trey White at cornerback 1. And then we're going to see what they do at CB2. I don't know if they're going to pop Cam Lewis in and bring in Taron. I don't know if they're going to play Saran Neal at CB2. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what exactly they do with 2 slots active, 1 cornerback 1. I don't know who's going to play the boundary guys. It could be – I don't think it's going to be Taron. So it could be Cam Lewis or it could be Saran Neal. So – or maybe Dane Jackson gets a spot start.
That's what I was going to say. Who the hell knows at this point?
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm excited to see Cam Lewis. Like, when the Bills signed him as an undrafted free agent, I was super excited. I thought he was a guy that could get drafted, coming out of college and everything, even if it's a late round pick. But we saw a lot of Bulls go undrafted that year, and I'm excited to see it. I'll be watching him a lot this game. We'll get into
sure.
we'll talk about our predictions and everything in a sec, but we'll finish around the league real quick. Panthers Saints. Saints are without Emmanuel Sanders. They were without Michael Thomas. So Traquan Smith is going to be their number 1 receiver, but Alvin Kamara is going to get about 20 targets. So they're favored by 6.5. I have the Panthers covering. I got them at +7 on my parlay. I think the Panthers can win the game outright, honestly. I think I'm going to take the Panthers. Marshawn Lattimore has a 158.3 grade, or giving up a 158.3 in coverage this year. So taking the Panthers.
Tough game.
Yeah, no, I'm taking the Panthers in this one, honestly. I love them with the points today, 6.5, 7.5, around there. Teddy Bridgewater just been keeping him in everything. Robbie Anderson looks really good. That offense, besides last week, hasn't taken any steps back without Christian McCaffrey. If anything, it's been a little bit better.
Yeah, it's weird.
Which is weird. That defense, they're not just getting run over. They've been playing pretty sound for the most part. So I think this is a perfect opportunity at an upset. Looks like Michael Thomas probably won't be playing between the hamstring and the ankle. So I'm going with the Panthers to get the upset.
I like the Panthers. I like the team. It's a trendy team. I like Mike Davis a lot. I like Teddy Bridgewater. I like big Robbie Anderson fan here.
I love what Matt Rule is doing.
He's good.
I think I like him. I definitely like him with points for sure. I definitely like him with points. Just don't think the Saints have enough. I mean, they can key in on Kamara and make Breeze do it. And you're going to look at a lot of Taysom Hill I like the Panthers.
Taysom Hill's funny. He's just a walking punchline right now. I love it.
It's also not
better
his
than
fault.
Breeze right now, though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's not his fault.
Or
that
is
he didn't win
Jameis
the
your better
game.
best option?
Might be. I would love to see some Jameis. He's the funnest quarterback in the NFL behind Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's just the most fun quarterback. Just because you never know.
You never know what's gonna happen, and that's exciting, baby. That's what you want to see out there.
Exactly, especially when you don't know what your season's going to be. Just keep it more unknown. Who knows? Someone who really doesn't know what their season's going to be are the Cowboys. They're supposed to be good, and now they're not good. And Andy Dalton's there, and he might still have it, but he also probably doesn't. They're facing against the Washington football team. I don't know. This is going to be a stupid, ugly game, I think. I don't think a team goes over 20 points. Probably going to take the Cowboys just because of their offensive talent. But, you heard what the players said about the coaches this week. That they just don't know how to do their jobs. I'm not...
Doesn't mean the players don't know how to do their jobs, though. And the Cowboys have better players than the Washington football team. I'm going with the Cowboys. Dalton didn't look that bad, threw for 266. A lot of the troubles with that offense came because of those Ezekiel Elliott fumbles. He's the one to blame last week.
Yeah.
Put the blame on where it needs to go. Don't be afraid to call out your high-name players. He's the reason you lost last week, not just your coaches. Be better players.
Yeah, the Cowboys. Yeah, I think they have too much offensive talent. I think Zeke will be better. He seems to play well when he gets called out. I like the boys in this game. I don't think there's any doubt. Really, I think that's a pretty easy call.
Al tweets in that the Cowboys are 0-6 against the spread, and they are underdogs this week. So, #analytics, the Cowboys won't cover the spread as an underdog, and therefore they will lose.
No, that means that they're going to bounce back towards the mean, and they're going to actually cover for once, and they're going to win.
Ooh. Interesting. Man, math. Who would have thought?
Remember, just like the Patrick Mahomes stat of his record when the line moves.
When the line moves, yeah.
Just didn't end up being a thing.
You think Vegas is going to let a team go 0-16 against the spread?
Well, I don't know. Is Mercury in retrograde? I don't know.
I don't know. There is a blue moon this month, though, and the blue moon is on Halloween.
Yeah.
You guys understand that, right? So that means all the COVID people that died are coming back as zombies. It's not going to be fun.
Halloween
I'm gonna grab my bat with the barbed wire on it for sure.
Just in case.
That makes a really good Netflix original Halloween movie. I might have some numbers for you.
The Blue Moon.
Yeah, the Blue Moon bringing back COVID people from the death.
The Blue Moon. There you go. Coin it.
I feel like Jesse Eisenberg and Pete Davidson team up for a weird dark comedy. I love it.
Emma Stone. Yeah.
Yeah. And Pete Davidson just plays every zombie.
No makeup.
Packers Texans.
Which is no fault to his own.
Oh, none at all. No, it's just he's a weird guy. Packers Texans. Packers favored by 3. I have them covering in my parlay. I think
Aaron Jones.
No Aaron Jones. I'm going with the Texans to get the upset. I love the interim coaches. Deshaun Watson looked great last week. I think they're going to get the win. Packers defense got exposed on national television.
Aaron Rodgers won't lose 2 in a row. He will not lose 2 in a row.
We'll see.
I like the way Watson's balling, man. I'm going Houston. Getting rid of that run game. That's a big deal to now.
Healthy.
They don't have They don't have weapons. Their team is Devontae Adams. I mean,
that's fair.
At some point, you can do something to scheme against that. No, I mean Jamal Williams isn't. I hate him as an Aaron Jones fantasy owner. He's not good.
Fair. Yeah.
AJ Dillon wasn't a good pick. I just don't like what that team. Then they got exposed. I think you're going to get the second straight loss from Green Bay. And I definitely think that they're not going to cover.
Wow, that is. Now I'm nervous about that for my parlay, but I'll move on because I don't want to cry on the pod.
Aaron Jones was a big loss for that team, man.
Oh, I know. I made the bet before he was out. I'll be completely honest.
He got a random Friday injury and just sat out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bummer. I like him.
Just did Packers Texans. Buccaneers Raiders. I don't know what to think of this game because I think the Raiders might be good. But the Bucs defense is really good. I'm probably going to take them in this, but It's a weird spread too, -4. I always think those like -4, -5 spreads are really, really weird. So I don't know who I would take there, especially. I think the Bucks win, but I don't know. It's good. I think this could be a really good game sneakily.
Yeah, I could see the Raiders hanging in there with this one, but I'm going to go with the Bucks. I think after that performance last week and the way Tom Brady's been playing, you're getting Gronk clicking in that offense a little bit too, and Tom's going to have Antonio Brown to look forward to have even more weapons in that offense now. I think he is really finding his stride right now. I think the Bucks are going to get it done. Defense struggled, first possession or two last week, and they really buckled down. That defensive line is legit.
Yeah, I think their defense is better than I thought they'd be, and I was kind of questioned, like, well, they have all these weapons, whatever. But it did show to me that I think they can take this one. I got Tampa.
If Tampa loses, does Brady shake Derek Carr's hand?
No.
Nah, not the COVID Raiders.
Yeah, Chiefs.
Wear masks.
They don't wear masks. Aren't they without their entire offensive line actually this week? Or
they all came back.
They all came back.
Trent Brown.
Okay. Almost all of them, yeah.
Okay, except for Trent Brown and his legendary tattoo. That's right. You got Chiefs Broncos. They called it an AFC West showdown.
Chiefs.
I don't know if it's a showdown.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
Chiefs.
I don't see how the Chiefs lose to the Broncos. Broncos are coming off a big win.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it's going to end for them.
49ers Patriots. I think
tough one.
I think the 49ers win. I think they look better on defense than I thought they would with all these injuries and everything. And Cam is starting to look more like not the MVP Cam. I think
looking like the F word.
Wow.
Fraud. I think the Patriots are frauds this year. I think they got lucky a little bit early on. Couple easier matchups. Now you lost to the Broncos on a series of field goals. You couldn't stop them from getting over the 50 every single time they got the ball. That defense, bend don't break, but yeah, you just bent so far you're never getting back to your same position ever again.
It's like scoliosis. That defense is scoliosis.
Basically, yeah. I don't believe in that defense at all. Mm-hmm. I don't think Cam Newton is going to be able to take over a game and win it for you on his own. Yeah. And I don't think you have enough playmakers around him. It's as simple as that. I think they're frauds. I think the 49ers could easily win this game.
Let's call it what it is. Their offense is terrible. They had one good game against the Raiders in Week 3. They against a bad, as we've seen,
efficient at all.
Bad Vegas defense. Like that's all they were able to do. They scored 10 against the Chiefs. They scored 12 against the Broncos. They scored 21 against the Dolphins. It's
Even
just,
when Cam
it's just
gets
not a good
time,
team.
he's just not finding receivers at all, and then he gets lit up. From the blind side because he's standing there for 10 seconds. No one's open. Like your first inclination after 5 seconds isn't to run. Like what are you doing? Then you get popped 3 seconds later in the ball. Like it's just unbelievable. You got to do something there. I just don't get what they're doing. They don't feel like they're on the same page.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I got the 49ers. I think we were Jared Stidham away from a 5-11 Patriots team. So.
That's true.
They're 7-9, 8-8 right now. So
they're really missing those opt-out guys.
Yeah,
it's really noticeable. It's just lack of discipline.
They get an offensive line back though, underratedly. They have David Andrews back. They can move Tooney over. It's going to help a little bit because clearly their offensive line's been a major issue. But that's one thing that Bills are going to obviously have to deal with. A healthy offensive line. Jack Mason's going to play finally. So that scares me a little bit, but outside of that, the line's been bad without Scarnecchia. It's done, so I got Sam for him.
Yeah, the Dolphins are a bigger threat to the division than the Patriots right now. Book it. Last one on Sunday. We got Monday night game. Seahawks Cardinals. This finishes out my parlay. I got the over in this one, over 55.5. This one could be one of the most fun games of the week.
Yeah.
It's like the Atlanta Falcons Detroit game is like the Walmart version of this game. And I think the Cardinals win. I think the Seahawks defense is too bad to keep up with an actually really, really good offense. Like they almost lost to the Vikings. I think the Cardinals pull off the upset and give the Hawks the first loss of the year.
Yeah, I said before the season started, a team to watch that NFC West was going to be the Cardinals. They were going to And I was worried about some of the over-under totals for these other teams because I thought the Cardinals were going to be able to sneak enough W's out of them, maybe beat each team once. And I think they could beat the Seahawks. They have enough offensively to do it. Can your defense just cause enough chaos where Russell Wilson can't thrive? He can't eat in that chaos within that storm, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to need a big game out of Patrick Peterson for sure. Buda Baker. You're going to be able to get after the quarterback. You got some decent guys there on that line between Collins and Reddick.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the Cardinals, I think, to get the upside as well.
On Seahawks. Seahawks guy through and through. I think he's MVP candidate. I think Russell Wilson's difference maker.
I love the Seahawks. Don't get me wrong. I have a Russell Wilson jersey hanging in my closet. It's just I see the Cardinals this year sneakily getting some games away from these teams. And this is one where I could see the Seahawks not really, being fully invested in this one, not fully valuing what the Cardinals are going to provide challenge-wise to them.
I think they kind of think of the opposite, like the trendy Cardinals are, where you have a game against trendy Cardinals. I think they're going to be ready for it. I think the over is a good bet, but I also at the same time think that Seattle takes care of business. I think they get the W.
And honestly, credit to Jets GM Joe Douglas for getting what he did for Jamal Williams because Jamal Adams because even with Jamal Adams on that defense, they look bad. So, maybe a little chess while other GMs are playing checkers, maybe. I don't know. But it seems like, if we're going to say one good thing about the Jets, good job on that trade, Joe Douglas. Rams-Bears to wind out the week. The Bears confuse me because they might be good. But also, they have Nick Foles. And I still don't know if he's good. I think I'm going to take the Rams. I think Aaron Donald's going to make Nick Foles regret going to Chicago, just to put it lightly. Yeah,
Rams.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm going with the Rams. I just don't think the Bears have enough offensive firepower around Nick Foles. I think Nick Foles can win you games for sure, but when you're playing against a team like the Rams who can put up numbers on their own, they have a lot of weapons there. You're going to need to do the same, and I don't think you're going to be able to eke out, a 17-10 win against the Rams here. I think the Rams are going to go over 20 points, and that's going to be tough for the Bears to get to.
I got Rams. I like Rams all day, and this one had it all week. So,
And the reason everyone's here, we know the inactives. Bills predictions. Bills Jets 1:00 today. Ty, I love your hat, so we're gonna start with you. There's a
no
science.
crackheads, no priests this week.
Oh no!
Right off the cuff. Not like overly excited to watch this game as I am like most Sundays. It's not a normal Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see what we saw with the inactives. A lot of those guys playing who we were worried about. Slightly dinged up. I think the Bills will be able to get this win. I don't want to have to worry about this one early on. I want the offense to establish themselves, go down the field, put up a touchdown, and let the Jets try to play from behind because I think they're going to lose faith in their team very quickly. They're going to bow out, and you should be able to take out some of these guys who are banged up to keep them a little bit healthy. Just get out there, get the pedal to the floor quick early start, 0 to 60 fast, and I think the Bills take this one 27-10.
27-10. I'm going to stick with my prediction I had for if Sam Darnold plays, and I'm going to stick to what we said on the pregame show with Tyson from Let's Talk Jets. Great episode. Take a listen to that. I've got 23-17. The Bills win. I don't think they cover. I think it's going to be a grinded out game. I think Sam Darnold's trying to get right, trying to make sure his team's not going to take Trevor Lawrence in this. And he's got an option to do that today. Gets a pretty banged up Bills defense, even though some of them are playing. How healthy are they? I don't know. We didn't talk about the Jets inactives. Actually, George Fant's going to play, aforementioned, so they're going to actually only have one offensive lineman missing, Alex Lewis. So Fant was their questionable player who's going to go. So that means no McDermott, no Connor McDermott. So it's big news. So that is a big upgrade to that offensive line. Should be able to keep him upright. Should be able to play okay. Not many weapons, but I think they're going to do enough to hang around. I think they're going to stick around early, Ty. I think they're going to stick around. Quite frankly, do I trust if the Bills are down late in the game to come back and win? I do. But that's not the kind of game I'm hoping for. Next week's a big week. Hopefully the Bills aren't looking back to it. Yeah. But I do have the Bills 24-17, roughly 23-17 in this game. I don't think they cover.
Yeah, my prediction from the show with Tyson was really, really pessimistic. I think in the moment I was not very, very happy about, the direction of everything. And the past 2 weeks were really frustrating for a lot of reasons for every Bills fan out there. Trey White and Milano playing, it makes me feel a little better. I think maybe this could be the week that, we saw when John Brown was out, we expected Gabe Davis to be more of a factor. He really wasn't. I think this week he is actually going to be more of a factor because this defense is not as good as what they've looked at in the past few weeks. I'm going to say the Bills win 30-23. It's still going to be closer than we want it to be against the Jets. That is going to include a Tyler Bass missed extra point, but then a field goal to make up for it. That's how they get to the 30. It's going to be. I think it's going to be more frustrating than we want it to be. But we're going to get out, we're going to stay healthy, and we're going to be on
Stream Gabe Davis.
New England. Stream Gabe Davis. I think that's all we got for you guys today. Like we said, it's not the most exciting matchup. It's probably more nerve-wracking than we want it to be. But sit back, enjoy it. We are happy and lucky to be watching.
Get some Picasso. Picasso's Pizza.net, best pizza in Western New York.
Picasso's Pizza.net. Picasso's Pizza.net.
The Bills have a chance of a commanding AFC East lead if San Fran pulls off their victory and they take a win, a game and a half, and the game in hand on Miami. It does matter. It's a division game, even if they're 0-7. It does matter because it's a division. It's not an 0-7 not division game, or 0-6 at this point. So it does factor into this, and that division win matters. And hopefully, if the Jets beat someone, it's the Dolphins and the Patriots. That's all you're rooting for. That's all. You don't care about them against anyone else. At the end of the day, you want them to beat the Dolphins and the Patriots, and you to go 2-0 against them. I mean, that's all the Bills can hope for. Does matter. Bills are to be 3-0 in the division going into with a 3-game lead on New England. That's just an unheard of big game. They need to take care of it, and it's right there.
Well, check your TV listings. I don't know what CBS game I have at 4:25, but it's Chiefs Broncos, it's 49ers Patriots, it's Jaguars Chargers. So I don't think the country's getting Jaguars Chargers. I don't know what's telling me that, but I don't think they are. If you can watch the New England 49ers game, definitely do it. We'll have the opportunity to. But one game at a time, focus on the Jets, and then we're on to New England next week. For Ty V, Kevin, myself, all of Trainwreck Sports, and our friends at Picasso's Pizza, go